Welcome to Farming Aid.
Starting a small farm is exciting, but it is also where a lot of people make their biggest mistakes. Most of those mistakes are not about fencing, land, or even money. They start with choosing the wrong livestock. Some breeds look perfect on paper. They are famous, heavily promoted, and often labeled as the best in the industry. What no one tells you is that many of those breeds were designed for large-scale, high-input farming, not for small acreage, limited labor, or pasture-based systems. On a small farm, the wrong breed can quietly drain your time, your budget, and your motivation. In this video, we are going to talk about 5 livestock breeds that small farmers should seriously think twice about. These are animals that often struggle outside of industrial systems and create more problems than profits when raised on a small farm. More importantly, we will also talk about what to get instead. Breeds that are easier to manage, better suited to grass and pasture, and far more forgiving if you are not running a perfect operation. If you want livestock that work with your land instead of fighting it, this video will help you avoid costly mistakes and set your farm up for long-term success. One of the most common mistakes small farmers make is choosing Holstein cattle. Holsteins are everywhere, so they feel like the safe option. They dominate the dairy industry, they look impressive, and everyone knows their black and white pattern. The problem is that Holsteins were bred for high-volume milk production under very specific conditions. They require large amounts of high-quality feed, constant supplementation, and careful health management. On a small farm, this quickly becomes a losing game. Holsteins convert massive amounts of feed into milk, but if that feed is not perfectly balanced, production drops and health problems appear. They are prone to metabolic issues, fertility struggles, and shorter lifespans compared to more moderate breeds. For a small farmer, the vet bills alone can erase any profit from the milk. Instead of Holsteins, many small farms do far better with Jersey cattle. Jerseys are smaller, easier on fencing and pasture, and far more efficient converters of grass into milk. Their milk is rich in butterfat and protein, which is ideal for making cheese, butter, and yogurt. Jerseys are also known for better fertility and longer productive lives, which matters when you cannot afford constant replacements. Another strong alternative is the Dexter cow, especially for very small acreage. Dexters thrive on grass, handle rough conditions, and produce a manageable amount of milk and beef without overwhelming the farmer. Choosing Jerseys or Dexters often turns dairy from a stress point into a reliable part of the farm. Another breed that small farmers often regret choosing is the Belgian Blue. These cattle are famous for their extreme muscling and high meat yield, which sounds perfect on paper. In reality, Belgian Blues are one of the most management-intensive beef breeds in the world. Their exaggerated muscle structure often leads to calving difficulties, with many cows requiring assisted births or even routine cesarean sections. That level of intervention is expensive, stressful, and completely impractical on a small farm. Belgian Blues also require high-energy diets to maintain condition and muscle mass, which means grain feeding becomes almost unavoidable. A far better option for small-scale beef production is the Red Angus or the Devon breed. Red Angus cattle retain many of the benefits of Angus, such as good meat quality and calm temperament, but they often handle heat better and perform well on grass. Devons, sometimes called Red Devons, are a true dual-purpose breed with excellent grazing ability. They are known for easy calving, strong maternal instincts, and efficient grass conversion. On a small farm, those traits matter far more than extreme muscle. You want cattle that work with your land, not against it. Moving beyond cattle, many small farmers get drawn to large white pigs, also known as Yorkshire pigs. These pigs dominate commercial pork production for a reason, but that reason does not translate well to small farms. Large whites were bred for fast growth in confinement systems with precise feed rations. On pasture, they often struggle with sunburn, heat stress, and poor foraging ability. They also tend to require high-protein feeds to reach their potential, which can be costly. When raised in less controlled environments, their performance drops sharply, and the supposed efficiency disappears. For small farms, heritage pig breeds are usually a much better fit. The Berkshire pig is a classic example. Berkshires are hardy, adaptable, and excellent foragers. They produce richly flavored meat that commands premium prices, especially in direct-to-consumer markets. Another strong choice is the Tamworth pig, often called the bacon pig. Tamworths thrive on pasture, root effectively, and handle outdoor conditions with ease. These breeds may grow slightly slower than commercial pigs, but they save money on feed and infrastructure while producing a higher quality product that small farms can actually sell profitably. Sheep are another area where breed choice can make or break a small operation. Suffolk sheep are extremely popular and widely promoted for meat production. However, Suffolks were bred for fast growth and high output in managed systems. They often struggle with parasite resistance, especially in humid or warm regions. On small farms without intensive rotational grazing and parasite control programs, Suffolk sheep can become a constant battle. They require regular deworming, careful pasture management, and close monitoring to stay healthy. Over time, this leads to drug resistance and rising costs. A more suitable alternative for small farms is the Citadine sheep. Citadines are hair sheep, meaning they shed naturally and do not require shearing. They are known for strong parasite resistance, good mothering ability, and adaptability to a wide range of climates. Citadines thrive on pasture and perform well in low-input systems. Another excellent choice is the Dorper sheep, which also sheds and produces high-quality meat. These breeds reduce labor, cut costs, and align better with the realities of small-scale farming. When it comes to goats, Boer goats are often marketed as the ultimate meat goat. Their rapid growth and heavy muscling make them attractive, but they come with serious downsides for small farms. Boars are notoriously susceptible to parasites, especially internal worms. In many regions, keeping Boer goats alive and productive requires constant deworming, strict pasture rotation, and supplemental feeding. They were developed for controlled environments, not low-input systems. Many small farmers find themselves stuck in a cycle of treatments and losses that never seems to end. Kiko goats are a much better option for most small farms. Kikos were developed with survival and efficiency in mind. They are hardy, parasite-resistant, and excellent mothers. Kikos thrive on rough forage and require minimal intervention compared to Boers. Spanish goats are another strong alternative. They are extremely adaptable and have been surviving in harsh environments for centuries. While they may not look as impressive as Boer goats, they often outperform them in real-world conditions, especially where resources are limited. Poultry is not immune to the problem of choosing the wrong breed either. Cornish cross broiler chickens are incredibly popular because they grow fast and reach market weight in just a few weeks. On a small farm, however, they can be a nightmare. Cornish cross birds are prone to leg problems, heart failure, and heat stress. They require carefully controlled feeding schedules and environments to avoid health issues. Miss a detail, and losses can be high. They are also poor foragers, which limits their usefulness in pasture-based systems. For small farms interested in more sustainable poultry, breeds like the Freedom Ranger or Red Ranger offer a better balance. These birds grow more slowly but are far more active and resilient. They forage well, tolerate outdoor conditions, and have fewer health problems. Another option is dual-purpose breeds like Plymouth Rock or Delaware chickens. While they do not grow as fast as industrial broilers, they provide both meat and eggs and fit naturally into diversified farm systems. What ties all these examples together is a simple pattern. Many of the breeds to avoid on small farms were designed for industrial agriculture. They assume access to cheap feed, specialized equipment, and constant human intervention. Small farms operate under completely different conditions. Land is limited, labor is personal, and every dollar counts. Breeds that thrive under low input conditions, that can forage effectively, resist disease, and reproduce easily, are almost always the better choice. Choosing the right livestock breed is not about chasing maximum production on paper. It is about matching the animal to the land, the climate, and the farmer's goals. A cow that produces slightly less milk but stays healthy for 10 years is far more valuable than a high-producing cow that burns out in 3. A goat that resists parasites and raises strong kids with minimal help is worth more than one that looks impressive but constantly needs treatment. Small farms succeed when systems are simple and resilient. The wrong breed introduces complexity and fragility. The right breed builds stability and confidence. By avoiding breeds like Holstein cattle, Belgian blue cattle, large white pigs, Suffolk sheep, Boer goats, and Cornish cross chickens, small farmers can sidestep many of the most common frustrations. By choosing alternatives like Jersey cows, Devon cattle, Berkshire pigs, Katahdin sheep, Kiko goats, and hardy poultry breeds, farms can move toward profitability and sustainability. At the end of the day, small farm success is not about chasing the most popular breed or the one with the biggest numbers in a brochure. It is about choosing animals that fit your land, your climate, and the way you actually live and work. The breeds we talked about in this video struggle on small farms because they were built for systems that rely on heavy feed inputs, constant intervention, and large-scale infrastructure. When those supports disappear, the weaknesses show fast. The good news is that there are better options. Breeds that may look less impressive at first often turn out to be tougher, cheaper to keep, and far more reliable over time. When you choose livestock that can thrive on pasture, resist disease, reproduce easily, and forgive small mistakes, farming becomes more enjoyable and sustainable. Instead of fighting your animals every day, you start working with them. If this video helped you rethink your livestock choices, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below. Share your experience with breeds that did not work for your farm or ones that surprised you in a good way. Your insight could help another small farmer avoid years of frustration and build a farm that actually works.